The objective of this video series is for us to, inshallah ta'ala, reflect and to become better human beings in this month of Ramadan, inshallah. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, nahmaduhu wa nusalli wa nusallim ala rasulihil kareem amma ba'd. Respected brothers and sisters in Islam, we need to understand how to deal with our human emotions. What I mean by that is, when Rasulullah ﷺ said to control your anger, he did not intend to say, don't get angry. What he intended to say was, don't practice out what you want to do in that rage of anger. It's natural to get angry. And anger is one example I'm giving, and there are many other examples of just the different emotions that you and I feel, right? Islam does not say it is haram to experience those natural emotions. However, it is impermissible to carry out actions based on those emotions, of course, if it's haram, right? This reminds me of an incident when Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu was tested and he became angry. So a fellow sahabi or a tabi'i, Allah knows best, recited a part of the verse of the Quran to remind him. And after hearing that, after listening to that principle of the Quran, we find that Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu immediately calmed down, and he was then able to address the situation the way he needed to. That principle of the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلْيَعْفُوا وَلْيَسْفَحُوا أَلَا تُحِبُّونَ أَن يَغْفِرَ اللَّهُ لَكُمْ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying is, وَلْيَعْفُوا وَلْيَسْفَحُوا. In other words, forgive and have forbearance. Forgive, have forbearance, take it easy, don't react. And then immediately after that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is asking the question, أَلَا تُحِبُّونَ أَن يَغْفِرَ اللَّهُ لَكُمْ. Wouldn't you like that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would forgive you? And the answer is yes, of course. So in other words, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is indirectly telling us that, O believer, learn to forgive so that you can be forgiven by Allah. One way of looking at it, right? Learn to forgive so that you can be forgiven by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Or how I personally try to live my life, and I'm using the word try because it's easier said than done, is I try to forgive others so that Allah can be forgiving towards me on the Day of Judgment. I try not to get angry towards others so that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not show His anger towards me on the Day of Judgment, and the list goes on. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us all to have the best character with each other for the sake of Allah, keeping that moment in mind when you and I will be presented to Allah all by ourselves. Amin ya Rabbil Alameen wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.